Like to welcome everybody who just joined us from the waiting room to our Zoom call. And you see there right now some of the stars of the event. We're going to actually get officially started here in about 10 minutes. Until then, for those of you who know a little bit about your Zoom and can navigate to do so, I'm going to give everybody a link for some backgrounds that we created. If you'd like to use those just to spice up your video background. So you'll be able to find that link in the chat I just posted. And my name is Josh, and I'll be your moderator today. We also have Price Bell with us with Mill Ridge Farm, who's going to be our host, taking us through and speaking with our horses today. For everyone just joining us, thank you for being here. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. It's great to see everybody's beautiful smiling faces. For those of you who have video, you don't have to by any means, but you'll notice that everyone is on mute. So if you have any questions as we go throughout, feel free to put those in the chat, and we will pass those along to our moderator today. Like I said, we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. I've posted in the chat as well the itinerary for today's call, and there's also a link in there to get some unique Kentucky-themed virtual backgrounds if you wanted to change it up on your Zoom call. Yeah, just sit tight. We'll be getting started here in just a minute. Somebody's rolling in the grass. All right, well, as we see some of the horses starting to walk up, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you for everyone for joining us today. My name is Josh, along with my other human co-host, Price. We're going to be managing today's call. And I'm going to turn it over to Price here in just a second, but I wanted to let you all know again that if you have any questions as we go through today's Zoom call, go ahead and write those, if you would, in the chat for this call, and I will be able to pass those along to Price, and we'll get those questions answered for you. One last plug for some Zoom backgrounds. There is a link in the chat for some of those if you wanted to check those out and download those. Now that we have a pretty good group here. We'll go ahead and get started. I'll introduce you first to our human host. This is Price Bell. He is, as we call him, the bloodstock agent to the stars. He's one of the guys behind Horse Country Tours, and just an all-around good guy. And we're really excited and happy to have him hosting today and taking us through the farm over there at Mill Ridge. And we're blessed to have him. So I'm going to turn it over to Price, and he's going to take us through the rest of the call. All yours, Price.
Thanks so much, and hello, everybody. My name is Price Bell, and welcome to Mill Ridge Farm. Mill Ridge was established in 1962 by my grandmother, Alice Chandler. It was a piece of, at that time, was a piece of property that was her father's, and before that, her father. So as a family, we've been farming it since the mid-1800s. We raise thoroughbred racehorses here, or thoroughbreds. They don't all race. Some will go on to second careers and other careers and disciplines, but we raise thoroughbreds. So again, in 1962, my grandmother established the farm, and it's a thoroughbred nursery. So we take horses from conception through high school graduation. So when they leave us, they go off to college where they're taught how to be ridden. So this stage, where we are now, is our oldest foals. So these foals were all born in the month of February. As you can see, even if you have an itch, you scratch here on the water trough. And these guys were born in February. So they're about 45 days old or so. At this stage, they're bigger and stronger and are able to stay out all night with their moms. So this is a herd of about 15 mares and foals, and we'll spend the next half hour or so together introducing to some of them and answer your questions. We have as all proper Zoom calls, we've got a strict-ish agenda. So with that, I want to get started with an introduction. A number of years ago, we came together, many of the nurseries and stallion operations here in Central Kentucky, and formed an organization called Visit Horse Country, or Horse Country. So we hope that once we're all through the COVID crisis and have had plenty of healthy at home and are ready to get out and explore again, we hope you'll come and visit us here in Lexington, Kentucky, and come see us in person. So the organization Horse Country, or visithorsecountry.com, can make that happen. Want to thank our tremendous partners at Visit Lex, who is our local convention and visitors bureau. They do an amazing job of really celebrating the bluegrass. We're very lucky to call Kentucky and Lexington home, and Visit Lex does an amazing job of celebrating it for us. Also want to thank our friends at Team Cornett, who have, ideated this fun idea, and hope that if you're enjoying yourself or if you'd like more, please be in touch. And with that, we will. So the routine of these mares. So obviously the mares are the bigger ones, are the mothers, and then the foals are the little ones. So I would consider these foals kind of like pre-kindergartners. And our clients, we have on the farm about 90 mares, and our clients choose us the way that you might choose for your own children, or have chosen for you, your early education, if you will. So we have a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and our children go to a Montessori school. And so my wife and I are believers in play-based learning. Maybe someday they'll go to a STEAM academy, if you will, where they like science, technology, engineering, and math. So I guess that'd be STEM. But our clients choose us for the same philosophies. So for us, and they were really established by my grandmother, again in 1962. She had 286 acres and 4 brood mares. And now we run about 650 acres and have 90 mares. The foal here in the picture is a daughter of a stallion here at the farm named Oscar Performance. Oscar Performance was bred by Mr. and Mrs. Ammerman and raised here at Mill Ridge. And this foal's mother is over here, and her name is Miss Chapin. So we like often people ask about what's in a name, and Miss Chapin is one of my favorite names. The Ammermans take great pride and thought in their names and naming their horses. So Miss Chapin's father was a champion miler, meaning that he was like a middle distance specialist. He won the Breeders' Cup Mile. His name was Royal Academy. And Miss Chapin's mother is a mare named Society Dream. And so for those familiar with the prep schools of New York, there's a very famous all-girls school called Chapin Academy. And so if your father's name is Royal Academy and your mother's name is Society Dream, then Miss Chapin is a very thoughtful name. Miss Chapin is 18 years old. Mares will have foals into their mid-20s. The oldest thoroughbred that I know that we've had here at the farm was a horse named Robbie. Robbie lived to be 40 years old. So most of the time, horses will start racing when they're 2, and they'll race until they're 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just depending on the variety of things. So Miss Chapin, being 18, has had a number of foals. One of her most famous foals is a filly named Coffee Click. And Coffee Click won the Grade 1 race, the Just a Game at Belmont Park in New York on Belmont Stakes Day. And Coffee Click's father is a horse named Medaglia d'Oro. Medaglia d'Oro, for those who may or may not know, is a brand of coffee. So again, if you have high societal dreams, and you might have a Coffee Click. Another foal of Miss Chapin's is a horse named Admission Office. And Admission Office is currently racing, was currently racing in Gulfstream Park. And he's a Grade 2 winner, very good horse, turf horse. And he is he's named Admission Office because his father was Point of Entry. So again, where do you enter a school like Chapin Academy? You enter at the admission office, which I thought was a very clever name. So the Ammermans, again, bred and raced a horse named Oscar Performance, who stands here at Mill Ridge. Oscar Performance was the best 2-year-old turf horse of his generation, the best 3-year-old turf horse of his generation. And at 4 years old, he set the world record running a mile on the turf in 1 minute 31 seconds and 2/5. So he covered a mile in 1 minute 31 and 2, and delighted with his first crop of foals. So this is Miss Chapin. We in our language we would say this foal is by Oscar Performance, the father, out of, for the, I guess, obvious analogy, Miss Chapin. So if anyone has any clever names for an Oscar Performance out of Miss Chapin, we would welcome the suggestions. And I don't know if we want to have a vote or a poll, but would love your thoughts on it. So people will name foals for different reasons, but it is always fun. The thoughtfulness that goes into it. This foal's routine, so this colt's routine, is he and his mother will be out with this group all day, every day, and each morning they're brought into the barn, and they will be brought into the barn for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before they're turned back out. Because what we want to see is, you can see these two little guys starting to play with each other. What we want to encourage this type of play. And at this stage in their lives, they are starting to become more independent. You see their mothers, the one is on the left walking up the hill and the other's at the top of the hill. But we want to encourage their playing so that we want them to develop their confidence. Horses are herd animals, and so they have protection and seek protection within the herd. And the race, which is the main discipline that we raise horses for, is really a manifest of their herd dynamics. So at the starting gate, all horses start at 0, and the objective is to get to the finish line first. And so the confidence that we hope to instill within the herd, we hope to instill that at very early stages of their lives. And so by keeping them outside and keeping them playing in our rolling hills of Kentucky, we hope to really establish and drive a great confidence in them.
Hey, Bryce.
This mare, yes.
Hey,
we have some questions.
We do have some questions. I'm going to go ahead and pass those along to you if you want to pause for a second.
Sure.
So the first question we have is coming in from Kennedy. She's 7 years old. And Kennedy asks, how tall can horses get?
That's a great question, Kennedy. Thoroughbred, so we measure horses in hands. So I'm going to see if I can demonstrate this. This is going to take, see if this will work. All right. You guys like that shot? All right. So you measure horses by hands. And the hand is taken from the ground up to this point on their body. And that used to be the way that you would measure. And so we describe horses in hands. And one of the tallest horses that I know of is about 17.2 hands. And it only goes up to 0.4. They're 4, so that's 17 and a half hands. I believe that a hand is about 5 inches. And so that horse would be 5 times 17 is what, 80, 85 inches. So, which is what, like over 6 feet? Yeah, almost 7 feet. So that's a very tall horse. Now, Clydesdales and other breeds of horses can be much bigger than that, but that's the tallest thoroughbred that I know of. So if you've ever been, Kennedy, around and seen some police horses at fairs or at the streets, they typically ride a breed of horse called a Clydesdale or a Percheron or a bigger horse that are oftentimes larger than 7.5 or even 8 feet.
Great. All right. Thank you. And thank you, Kennedy, for your question. The next question I had for you comes from Julie. She's asking where Mill Ridge Farm is located.
Great question, Julie. So we're located in Lexington, Kentucky. If you're familiar with Lexington, we're located just off of Harrodsburg Road, which is we're located very close to the airport. And we very close to the airport, very close to Keeneland. So and we have a website, millridge.com, and a Facebook page as well. If you'd like to, if there are any follow-up questions, we encourage you to reach out. We're doing virtual tours, which are a walk really through the farm with my dad. And I have the great privilege to work with my dad and my grandmother here at the farm. And so Dad and I during this time are doing some virtual tours. We're doing some walks through the farm where we just talk and tell stories, and most importantly, share horses because we feel very lucky and privileged to be able to engage with them as often as we do. So you can see much good socializing happens near the water trough, right? So the foals are all, and horses are it's a sunny day here in Lexington. We had a pretty big storm last night, so it took all the humidity, and now we've just got a beautiful sunny day. The spring grass has come in, and so the grass is very sweet. All the horses are enjoying playing and eating grass. We'll also feed each at least twice a day, and we'll also feed them hay throughout. So, well,
that actually leads us into a good question that's coming in from Janie, who would like to know what a horsey's favorite thing to eat is.
It's a great question, Jamie. Here at the farm, we don't feed a lot of carrots. We will feed some carrots, but we don't feed a lot of carrots. They're more kind of special treats that they start to enjoy at the racetrack. So I think here at the farm, their favorite thing is what we call a sweet feed. And so in the sweet feed, it's much like a granola you might eat for breakfast, like a breakfast cereal. There's oats and something sweet like molasses, and they love it. And it has some corn in it, a little bit of protein, so they enjoy that. But right now, the grass that's growing right now, if you were here about 3 weeks ago, the fields looked brown because the grass was still dormant in the winter. And now all this green growth, I believe, although I don't eat a lot of grass, is very sweet. And so even now we will try and spoil our horses with carrots. And oftentimes they're more interested in eating the grass than they are even the carrots that we're trying to spoil them with. This foal here is another Oscar Performance baby, and she is out of the mare Blue Heart, who is the gray mare right here. And Blue Heart was raced by Mr. and Mrs. Ammerman, and actually was born and raised in Canada. So the gray mare there was born and raised in Canada at Anderson Farms, and raced throughout the United States, and now lives here. And she is actually back in foal to Oscar Performance. So she has an Oscar Performance here, and now she has another baby expecting next year to Oscar Performance. Mothers are pregnant for 11 months. So humans are about 9 months, and horses are 11 months.
Wonderful. We got some more questions if you're ready.
Great. Absolutely.
All right. Dee asks, how many more foals are you expecting to be born?
So far we have had 40 foals, and we have about another 28 to go. So we're expecting about 68 foals this year. As herd animals, as I mentioned before, horses are also prey animals, and so they feel most comfortable foaling at nighttime. And so all the mares are foaled. You might not be able to see in the distance, but at the very top of the hill, 3 rises away, is our foaling barn, and that's where all the foals are born. And so we have a team here at Millridge of about 35 people, and led by our general manager, Mark Richardson. And Mark attends all the foalings. We also have a gentleman named Abel, who also he'd be our main quote-unquote foaling person. And so we have 24/7 care and watch over the mares. And as they get close to foaling, we are bringing them into the barn and just observing them to make sure that they're taken care of.
Great.
I don't know if any of you have this experience where one says to the other, come on, get up, let's play. Let's play. And the other says, oh, I'm tired.
So Price, question coming from Elijah is, what's your favorite time of year with the horses? Do you really enjoy the foaling season or racing or what?
Elijah, I would say that this time of year is my favorite. In this game, in this sport, it's all based on hope. So here we raised a horse, Oscar Performance. He turned 6 years old on Monday. Was his actual birthday. And so the decision for Oscar Performance to enter the world was made 7 years ago because of the 11-month gestation. And so to see Oscar Performance and anticipate his racing, from foaling to anticipate his racing, and then how successful he was on the racetrack, and now to be anticipating the success or the hopeful success of his offspring is really the elixir and what keeps us going here at Millridge and here in Lexington. In addition, this time of year, we are also typically getting ready for the Kentucky Derby. Keeneland is racing, which I hope that if you haven't had the opportunity to experience, it's a wonderful, incredible place to experience great racing. And it's really the beginning of kind of the racing season. So for me, the month of April and into May is my favorite time of year. You've got babies being born, full of anticipation, and then you also have great racing. So this is the Miss Chapin foal again. No, I'm sorry. This is Memorial Wall, and he looks like Miss Chapin. He also is a son of Oscar Performance.
We do have some name suggestions.
Nice.
That came in from Debbie for Miss Chapin's baby there. Drama Club or School Play were a couple.
I like that. Those are great.
And then one for Blue Heart's foal would be Romantic Comedy.
Nice. That's a good one. I will be sure and suggest those to Mr. and Mrs. Ammerman so that they will like. Again, they love thoughtful namings. Those are all very good.
We do have a question from Layla, who's 5 years old, and Layla asks, "How often do you have to fill the water trough there?"
It's a great question, Layla. So this water trough is actually an automatic one, and so it gets to a certain level, and then it will refill automatically. They're wonderful, except in the wintertime because they freeze. And so inevitably, you have to come out with an axe and break up the ice so that the horses can get fresh water. So, and then if you see those blocks that foal was just licking, those are a salt block. So just horses, horses are grazing animals, much like buffalo. And so anyway, they would graze open space, and they would stop in places and drink kind of a mineral-based water, which is a lot of what Lexington and Central Kentucky was founded on. These were all this landscape was really buffalo grazing territory, I guess. It was a woodland pasture ecosystem that the buffalo would migrate from Ohio down to southern Mississippi.
Well, speaking of those fields, one of the questions is, do you have to keep them, you have to keep them up, or do the horses do that for you?
We mow the field. So horses are very specific grazers. So if you can see how this mare is eating. They eat they eat and kind of chomp with their teeth, kind of like this. And so they really like grass that's about 4 to 7 inches tall. And so if the grass gets much taller than that, they don't like it. They don't graze it as much. And so we try and keep all the fields mowed so that they're all about 4 to 7 inches tall. And different than cattle will graze, and they take their tongue and they wrap it around tall grass. They pull it up, they chew on it, and keep moving. So cattle graze differently than horses, and they're not nearly as finicky, I guess would be the nice way to say it.
Got it.
Just like our children prefer it when we cut up their food than use the knife and fork themselves.
That's right. I have a question here from Jack. Is Jack there? No? Okay. I wanted Jack to be here if we asked this question. Okay.
That's it.
All right. We'll move on then. We have a suggestion for an Oscar performance foal. The suggestion from Julie is Commonwealth Thespian.
Nice. So now, how many letters is that? So we register, all thoroughbreds are registered with the Jockey Club, which is a breed registry based in New York with the main office here in Lexington. But in order to register, you have to be, your name has to be less than 17 letters. I should have specified that as well.
I think we're about four or five over on that one, but.
Well, we might have to shorten it or come with a clever way to do so.
Uh-huh. A couple more name suggestions, this time from Kennedy. She says, cream and cheese. I think she takes after her mama. She just likes cheese.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I like that. So all these, they've all kind of come together, and so they're currently turned out in about a 40-acre field here, and they will graze and play throughout the entire field multiple times throughout the day and night. Again, we will keep them turned out because we want them to play and be together and graze, and they're really most content to be outside for us at this stage in their lives. You see, this one is running that one off to its mother. Because even the moms too have, particular personalities. Some are better friends with others, etc. But they're all in this together, so they've all got to get along, right? So they quickly determine their pecking order, if you will.
Great. How long do the babies typically nurse?
So they'll be with their mothers for the first, 4 to 7 months of their life, depending, at which stage we will do what we call wean them. And that'll happen kind of in the middle of the summer. This batch will probably be weaned, July, August time. And what we'll do is we will take, by that stage, they're about 2 or 3 times as big as they are right now, and they're significantly more independent. They will, be around their mother a little bit, but really they're most interested in their friends. And what we'll do is we'll have this herd here of, I think, 14 or 16, and we'll take 2 mares out one day, and then wait a couple days, take a few more out until you have 16 middle schoolers and 1 very patient mother. So and then it's interesting. Their mothers, and foals will look for each other for an hour, 2 hours or so, depending, and then they'll move on because they're more consumed with each other and their friends and the rest of their herd.
Great. All right. Are there any final questions from anyone out there? If you have any last questions here for Price, we're going to pass those along. Just put those in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be wrapping up our call here pretty soon. I do want to remind everyone that if you do happen to post anything on social from this, you can go ahead and tag Visit Horse Country in any posts you have on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram. You can also visit horsecountry.com to look at coming out to visit some of these beautiful farms we have in and around Lexington, Kentucky. So let's see. Let me check one more time for some questions.
I'll give you one more fast fact. I'll give you a couple fast facts on thoroughbreds. So if you want to wrap it up and to kind of chew on or if you're looking for some good trivia at dinner at home tonight, horses' legs when they're born are about 80 to 90% as tall as they will be for their whole life. So this foal here, out of the mare Royal Fury, that's about 80% of its leg it will have in its whole life.
Wow.
Also, we know that horses enjoy sleeping standing up, and the reason is that they have a ligament in their hips that they can engage to where they bear their weight on their skeletal system. Whereas when we stand for too long, we get tired. Horses can stand and sleep while still standing up and not get tired.
When does the Calamity is asking how often are the foals handled after they are born, and when does ground training start?
That's a great question. So we will, when foals are born, why all of our foals have halters, which is what my hand is on here, is because we will walk with and handle the foal with its mother. The foal will follow its mother wherever it goes, but we want to put ourselves in their relationship so that they grow to trust humans. And then so they will be handled, and then as soon as horses are born, they're typically born at night. The next day, the veterinarian comes, makes sure that they're healthy, that they're sound, and then we will turn them out into a small paddock, which is like a small little field, for a couple hours, so that they can again get some strength, as they strengthen up, and then we will bring them back in the barn and do that just themselves and their mother for about a week to 10 days. After that, we'll buddy them up with another similarly aged mare and foal, so we teach them how to socialize. And so all of this in and out of the barn, and then even within the barn, in the stall, we're doing some we're doing some handling. We'll lift their feet, rub all over them, just get them comfortable. And then as far as the ground training, that we won't. When we are starting to exercise, we'll do a lot of exercise with our yearlings by hand walking, just walking the horses at the side. And then once they graduate from us, once they go to be taught how to be ridden, they will do a lot of kind of ground line driving where they walk behind them, teaching them the steering wheel, if you will. So that really happens once they leave the farm. We really specialize in that early childhood development through or early foalhood development through their high school years.
Great. Well, this has been a real pleasure for, we're getting a lot of great comments in here from people who are joining us from all over the country, and so we're really excited that you all had a chance to join us today on this sort of virtual tour. And if you want to go see more virtual tours, again, check out visithorseCountry.com. There's a list of virtual tours on there that you can take instead of having to travel to see us in this time. But so everyone, I encourage to go check out the website and get more of this. So any last words you'd like to share with us, Price? Otherwise, again, thanks to everyone for joining us.
No, we thank you all for joining. Thank you for organizing. Thank our friends at Visit Lex for making this all possible. They're tremendous partners, for Team Cornett for all the logistics work, which has not been small, and for our friends at Visit Horse Country. We so look forward to sharing. We love sharing horses. We love sharing their stories, and we so look forward to seeing you all soon. Stay healthy, and we'll see you very soon.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.